Hi, I'm Colin Heaps. This is my video for Enhancement 2 in CIT 336. I'm going to go kind of fast, but I'll show you everything I did. I wrote some SQL statements that are going to change a few things here in these database tables. First, I'm going to show you what I do with clients. In the clients table, right now we don't have anyone. We're going to add a man named Tony Stark. We'll do that by going to the SQL tab and adding some code in here. I've already put the code in this enhancement2.txt file. We'll get this first line, copy it, go back, paste it into here. This is saying insert into the clients table into each one of these columns these specific values. So we're setting the client ID to 1, first name Tony, last name Stark, his email there, his password, his client level, which we're going to change soon, and then his comment, I am the real Iron Man. Now if we hit go, it says one row inserted. We come back to clients, and there's Tony. It's been inserted into the table, into all of his information is inside each one of these columns. His client level is 1, and we want to change it to 3, so we're going to do an update. So if we come back to the SQL tab, and get this next line of code here, copy it, paste it into there. And this is saying update in the clients table, set a client level of 3 where the client ID is 1. So since we had Tony's ID of 1, we'll change his client level to 3. And only his, no one else in that table. Hit go. It says one row affected. Come back to clients. Here we go. Client level of 3 for Tony Stark. Next thing I'm going to show you is in the inventory. If you scroll down, it says nylon rope here. Edit so you can see everything a little better. Nylon rope. This nylon rope is ideal for nylon stuff. Down at the bottom, nylon. We're going to change all of those nylons to climbing. This bottom one, the top one, will keep capitalized. The image things you don't want to change, because if you were to change the name of the image, it won't. This link would no longer work. So we'll also go to this SQL tab. Come here, get this other update code that we've written. Come back here, paste it in. It's saying update in the inventory table in inventory name, inventory description, and inventory style, which were those sections that had nylon in them. We're going to change nylon to climbing, and we wanted to keep 2 of them capitalized, the ones that were in name and style, so we capitalize those here, but the other ones we want to keep lowercase. And this should only happen where the inventory ID is 17. That's that row that contained all this information for the nylon rope. If you hit go, there's one row affected. We can come back to inventory, scroll back down here. We see it says climbing rope now. Edit. It says climbing rope capitalized. This climbing rope here, climbing, and then at the bottom, climbing. So all of those were changed. And our images have stayed nylon. So then, come back to SQL. Next thing I'll show you how to do is to delete. You're going to copy that code. I'll show you where we're deleting from. In the inventory, we have this Koenig, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce that, car row here. We want to get rid of this. So we'll go back up to SQL. We'll paste in that code we copied earlier, saying delete from inventory where the inventory ID is 8. That's that row that had the car in it. Hit go. It says one row affected. We can come back here, and now that row is gone. It just goes from 7 to 9. There's no car here. And the last thing has to do with both categories and inventory. In the inventory, we have all these category IDs. Some of them, it goes from 1 to 5, I believe, is all. Yep. there's a bunch of these 3s. We want to pay attention to the 3 because up here in categories, we can see that a category ID of 3 is set to miscellaneous. We want to get a list of all of those inventory 3s that would be miscellaneous things in the inventory. So we'll go to SQL. We'll take this code I wrote earlier, come back to this page, paste it in. It's saying to select from the inventory categories. We'll get the category ID and get only the category ID of 3. Or all those ones that are miscellaneous. We're going to make a list of them. Hit go. So showing rows 0 to 6. So now we got this list showing up here. We can see these are all category ID'd of 3. And if we scroll over, it's just the miscellaneous items from that inventory table over here. So there's our list. And so that is all of my SQL statements working correctly. If we go over here to NetBeans, you'll see I've made this big connections.php that has some databases in it. One for Guitar 1 database, another Guitar 2 database, and an Acme database. Each of these, right now I've wrapped in these functions to show you if they're successful, what they'll do, and what happens if there's an error. So if we run that right now, it should say, okay, I'll go through all of these. It'll echo out if it's successful. It'll say like Guitar 1 connection successful, or Guitar 2 or Acme successful. If you run it, you get that all 3 of them successful. Guitar 1, Guitar 2, and Acme connections successful. But if there were to have an error occur, like this says password and not word, then it's going to show something else. I didn't want it to just pull up and show some bunch of information that is important to us to give to the world or hackers, whoever could use it if they saw it. So we've changed this catch to be an actual website location. I did that by putting a header in the location of the website I wanted it to go to, which I created over here as 500 PHP. So if we were to run it now, since it should have that, it'll fail. Pulls up this Acme website, says server error. And this is all that users would see. And so that all works correctly. I have all of these in one file, and they're all working. So this is my Enhancement 2 video. Thank you.